padded practice. New York Jets, we're back. Jets uniforms, we talk all about it. Let's roll, baby. Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field Gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor Gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
There was an off day yesterday? Hell no, I didn't even realize because the Jets dropped the uniforms. We're talking all kinds of hype and rumors. Hey, everybody, my name is Paul Liston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. If you've somehow stumbled your way into this weird virtual universe, this is Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video talk show where I bring on a variety of guests. We're live every single day at 7:30. And yes, even on the weekend. I don't know what I was doing, but I'm here, and we're just going to keep this thing rolling. I got a very special guest, first time on the show, and I'm sure it won't be the last time, although I'll ask him that question at the end of the program, whether or not this went great or bad. Either way, let's bring him in. Benny, you know him on Twitter as Benny and the Jets. He joins us on the program. What's up, Benny?
What's going on, man? Good morning. First and foremost, I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk Jets. And like you said, it was an off day, and you would have never known on Jets Twitter. There's no off days on Jets Twitter, if we're being completely honest with you. Yeah.
There is not. And by the way, I just got to say, as a Jets hat connoisseur, very crispy. I like the look. Like it's a script-like look. It looks beautiful. So great. I appreciate that you kind of dressed up. You dressed up for the occasion. I appreciate that. So with that being said, we'll get into some topics. We have some things, but one of the things I love and want to pick about your brain and other Jet fans to learn about, you were at, what was it, the Saturday practice? Is that correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so as someone who wasn't there, I'm just seeing the vibes and videos and things on Twitter. Give me the truth, Benny. You were there. The Aaron Rodgers chance, the Jet chance. That was the first look. That was the first public practice that the Jets have had this training camp. So that was a hot ticket item. So apparently you knew a guy who knew another guy who knew a guy to get you in there. So tell me, what was the experience like, my man?
It was insane. From the parking lot to getting to the seats, it was an absolute constant Jets chance. Obviously, there was a lot of cameras there. You saw the HBO cameras, the One Jets Drive cameras. The overall vibe of the energy is something I have never experienced as a Jet fan. I was telling Boy Green before, I've been to plenty. I've had season tickets for 4 years. Obviously, we haven't been necessarily as good for 4 years, but right now the vibe around the team is phenomenal. You see the energy with the players on the field. The sense of focus on the field, I think, really stands out, where even in the simple drills that they're running, everyone is giving it 100%. No one's walking through the end of the drill. Everyone is locked and loaded. And even the players, you could tell with Aaron Rodgers, the impact of him just being there, him watching, is huge, I think, for everyone. Fans involved, players involved, coaches involved. He's changed the dynamic of the whole Jets organization.
Do you normally go to training camp practices a handful every year?
Yeah. Obviously, it's gonna be a little harder to get to a bunch of them.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
But I typically go to around like 3 or 4 per. So I'm gonna try to get out there for a few more, without a doubt, this year.
Okay, the reason why I asked is because I wanted to make sure that the proper experience is there, because if I understand, I've been there a handful of times, but it's been sporadically over the years. I don't get to go to multiple normally in a singular offseason. Did they upgrade the crib, as I understand, for you guys in terms of the seating? Apparently they put a roof over your head with all the heat and stuff. How was that for you, especially as a guy who's been there previously when all that kind of stuff apparently wasn't there?
It was a lot more comfortable experience, I'll tell you that much. In past years, I've been sitting there pouring water on my head, trying to cool down. But it felt good. The shade was on top of us for majority of the practice. You were able to sit there comfortably and enjoy the atmosphere, the energy, and obviously the constant Jets chants and everyone there. Everyone there seemed happier with the shade and everything going on there.
Are you, Benny? Obviously, I think I'm pretty out in the open. People kind of know what I am. Like, I am an optimistic guy who just kind of brings some juice. Are you? Do you lean more so on the optimistic side when you look at the Jets, or the pessimistic side? Because it seems like Jet fans are one or the other.
I'm definitely more optimistic than I think most. I'm not afraid to call out things I don't necessarily love and see.
Right, yeah.
I like talking the game of football itself. I like getting into the nitty gritty of things a little bit, but overall, I try to see the positive in things. And I think there's a lot of positives to really pull from what we're seeing so far in training camp, and what we can look forward to when games actually matter. I think that we're going to do a lot of really nice things this year. I really, truly believe that. And I'm taking the Jets sunglasses off. That's, I mean, completely real. I think taking those off, I think we're going to have a really good year.
All right, Benny. Let's test. Let's jump in the Benny car and test this thing out for a drive, baby. You said you're not afraid to call it how you see it. You were just at training camp. Give it to me. What was something? Because there's no way it just went perfect, and everything was great. 1 to 10. Who a player or something of some nature in your mind, your observation while you were there, that did not go 0 to 60, was not looking Ferrari. There were some questions you had about, again, whether it was a player, some aspect of training camp as you were watching it over the weekend.
So one thing I did realize, and again, I don't want to put too much credit into it because the pads have yet to be on, and they're coming on today. So I think we're going to learn a lot more about at least the trenches aspect of it. From what I've seen from Billy Turner, I don't believe he's been rotating a lot with Makai Becton and at that left tackle position, because we know as of right now, Dwayne Brown is on a PUP list, and hopefully he's able to get back out there soon. But seeing that rotation, I've seen Billy Turner not necessarily look his best at left tackle. I think Billy Turner is best fit if he's going to be on the field playing that right tackle position. We know Aaron Rodgers is a little older, and I think we need someone protecting his blind side, whether it be Makai Becton, he wins the job, he does what he needs to do, or Dwayne Brown when he comes back healthy. I think if for whatever reason Billy Turner's out there week 1 protecting Aaron Rodgers' blind side, I'm going to be holding my breath just a little bit. But again, the pads aren't on yet, so I don't want to put too much stock into it. But in other aspects, I think Makai Becton has looked absolutely fantastic. He's put a few people on their rear end, even without the pads. So I'm absolutely loving what I'm seeing from Makai Becton, and hopefully he continues to build on it. And especially now with pads coming on, he has a real opportunity.
And that observation is so true. So, like, in every video show, guys, for those who don't know, as you're watching Boy Green Daily, you can also grab a quick read. It's linked to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. There's a quick article inside. It's a 2-minute read to catch you up on Jets training camp. And on our Jets flight itinerary, as I pull up the old, thing as I'm trying to tell all our passengers here, the number one bullet point, because we try to give you guys some articles that were kind of trending over the last 24 hours in Jets land. Jets offensive tackle Billy Turner got, quote, called out for his recent poor play in camp. And my partner, Michael, we do this Monday mailbag. He said he was tossed around like a rag doll out there, and he doesn't even think he's going to make the team. And I was like, whoa, okay. Because I think when he signed, we saw the Nathaniel Hackett thing because he was with him in Green Bay. He was with him in Denver. And you're like, okay, an experienced guy who at a minimum will be good depth. But how he's looked so far raises some questions. Although, again, pads come on today, so I'm kind of curious how that goes. Speaking of Makai Becton, let's go to this Betty here on the gosh darn program. Betty and the Jets on the freaking show, baby. This is fantastic. So make sure you're following him on Twitter for Pete's sake. But the Makai Becton thing, there's been some trade chatter. Now, I want to clarify the trade chatter. This is also in the article down below, that it first started. Rich Cimini, I love his podcast. He has the Flight Deck podcast. And he said a bold prediction. He said, I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what a bold prediction is. I think he gets traded. I was like, interesting. The next day, Michael Nanny of Jets X Factor wrote an article about, boldly, I think Makai Becton gets traded. I'm like, okay, this is weird. 2 people now. Then Connor Hughes, sometime this week, said, I think he could get traded if he loses the starting gig and he's just on the bench. And I'm like, wow. So this stuff is coming. Now, it's not like reports, at least from what I've gathered so far, just kind of some speculation. Benny, what do you make of it? Is it nonsense? Is there any credence to be delivered here? What do you believe?
Listen, we all know Makai Becton wants to win the left tackle spot. We've seen it throughout the offseason with his tweets. I am a left tackle. And I'm sure if he doesn't win the left tackle position, it would bother him to a certain extent. But I don't believe, knowing what happened last year with, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 tackles went on IR. I don't expect that to necessarily happen again because that's kind of an anomaly.
God, I hope not.
Yeah. God, please, I'm knocking on wood. I don't think that makes too much sense necessarily to trade Makai Becton. Obviously, after not playing 2 years, I can't imagine what you're getting in return is
true,
much of anything. So you might as well let him play it out. And if it doesn't work out by the end of this year, he goes on his merry way and we go on our merry way. But again, we all know the talent is there with Makai Becton. He has the size. And by all accounts, he transformed his body. For the Jets fans that don't even like Makai Becton and don't believe in him, you have to give him that sense of respect where he took this offseason extremely serious. And again, he's playing for his NFL career. If I'm being completely honest, I think in my opinion, and I think he has the right mindset. So even if he doesn't win the job and he doesn't want to be the right tackle position, injuries happen. And it's unfortunate, especially with Dwayne Brown being at left tackle, being 38, 39 years old at one of those. You can never be too careful. So if Makai Becton could come in with injury, whatever the case may be, the inevitable, that's not a bad backup. Like if we're being completely real, but I think there's a strong chance he does win the spot. Like I said, who knows when Dwayne Brown is fully going to come back ready and healthy, and Makai Becton shows his worth to this coaching staff, shows his commitment to learning the playbook, being there, and protecting Aaron Rodgers. I think there's a strong chance he wins the spot.
Yeah, as do I. I really think he's a changed man. He's obviously as motivated as you could be in the final year of his contract. The ball's in his court. He's playing for his future football livelihood. He has a child at home. Like I think he is motivated in all the right ways. So I'm rooting for him, and I agree. I just can't see the trade. There's just no value there. And on top of it, offensive tackle, as we saw last year, Benny, to your point, is a rare breed, and the Jets put 7 of them at various points on injured reserve. Who in their right mind with Aaron Rodgers on the team would even trade it? What do you get? Like, let's call a 4th round pick.
Yeah,
your team immediately gets worse because that draft pick doesn't help you. It's an imaginary pick. It doesn't exist. Like into the future, we're the right now. We can't worry about the future. So I agree. I think he ends up winning the job. The only way I could see it is if somehow he doesn't win the job and all of a sudden he starts throwing crap around in the locker room and throws a fit. I can't. I don't know. I'm not in there. I can't prognosticate or predict those sort of things. So if that rubs him the wrong way, then maybe. But besides that, I don't think so at all. And let's get to the theme of today's show. Should the retro uniforms become permanent? And by the way, both absolutely beautiful. Now look at these. Let's show this on the screen. I mean, wow. Now, Benny, feel free to plead the fifth, okay? I don't know if the FBI, your family, or whatever is watching. So the Jets released these uniforms yesterday morning. They're these Jets legacy uniforms. They'll be wearing them, for those who don't know, in Week 1 and Week 4. Week 1, of course, Buffalo Bills, Monday Night Football at home. Week 4, also at home, Kansas City Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. And they'll be having these uniforms, which are beautiful. And I immediately went, well, I guess I'm making a purchase I didn't expect to this morning. And I bought Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams. And I almost bought Aaron Rodgers. And then my fiance said, I thought you already have an Aaron Rodgers jersey. I'm like, this one's different, honey. Jesus. And then I went, okay, fine. I'll take it out of the cart. I won't spend $400 today. Fine. So I only got the Sauce and Quinnen, which, by the way, the Sauce is on the way. Thank you very much. Benny, did you splurge? Did you make an investment? Did you?
Yeah, without a doubt. I got the Sauce Gardner, and I got the Aaron Rodgers one. I had to. My girlfriend always tells me half of your wardrobe is Jets stuff, and I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. These uniforms are gonna be classic. They already are classic, but I could see myself wanting to wear these 10, 15, 20 years down the line because they're so clean. I love the simplistic look. A lot of people, most people love it, but some people, it looks kind of basic. I love that. I think that's what makes it intriguing to me.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't know. I love
Very
it.
clean.
I had to. I couldn't help myself.
Let me ask you. So I heard this from a fan yesterday. Just a quick detour here. A fan said, like, so my Sauce Gardner jersey apparently went through the process and now it's shipping. By the way, I was kidding when I said I know a guy who knows a guy. I just random luck, I guess, that the Sauce one is on the way. The Quinton one's supposed to be here before the season. Like, someone like tweeted at me and said, "Hey, my Rodgers jersey ain't coming until October," and I'm like, Jesus. So what's the ETA, Benny, on the Aaron Rodgers arrival, or do you even know at this point?
So according to the email, it said I should get it September 6th. As long as I
Okay,
have
nice.
it for week
Oh,
one, I'm
great.
okay.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Okay, there
I'll
you
wait.
go.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the Sauce
When
one,
that guy said October, I was like, Jesus, what in God's green earth? What is happening over there? So that okay. Well, keep an eye out for that. All right, but beautiful. Yes, I had to. Come on, we all had to make that investment.
oh,
Friggin'
yeah.
beautiful. And to that, starting the season again, I'm still pinching myself seeing all these players in the old school. It's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal, guys. Wherever you're watching, make sure you check out the article below. Make sure you get involved with the show. I see some of your comments. We'll try to get you some of those at the end of the show. Before I get to my last bit here, Benny, you mentioned it throughout today's show that the pads are coming on today for the New York Jets, and I would pull up because I tweeted it out a couple days ago. The Terry Tate office linebacker Super Bowl commercial. Here comes the paint train, whoop whoop, because that's what's happening today with the pads on. I'm revved about it. What do you think changes so the Jets have had 4 non-padded practices to start training camp. They had a day off yesterday. Today the pads come on. In your mind, what changes as soon as the pads are slapped on today?
The overall intensity. I played a little bit of football back in my day, not at the craziest high level, but I played high school. And when the pads come on, the intensity level completely changes. I'm sure we're gonna see Connor Hughes or Zach tweet that it's getting a little chippy out there. It's gonna be hot. So obviously, tempers are gonna be a little, I don't know, on the short end probably, but at the end of the day, I think it's gonna be great. We're gonna learn a lot about the trenches, obviously, of the offensive line and what they're made of, the nasty in the offensive line. And we all know what our defensive line is capable of. So that's going to be a strong test for our offensive line. And the name I'm looking out for, and Quinton Williams alluded to it when he first signed the contract, I think Jermaine Johnson. When looking at Jermaine throughout practice, he looks like he's filled into his NFL body to a certain extent. His pass rush seems to be definitive, where he knows what he wants to do. He has a pass rush plan, at least from what I've seen. And I think I'm looking forward to him taking a year 2 leap. And now with the pads coming on, getting those notifications and stuff, where seeing Jermaine Johnson is dominating, I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I will say also with my illustrious football career of yesteryear, when the pads came on, I was looking to light a mother up. I was like, "Oh, here we go!" And we had the Oklahoma drills, like let turn up, like you truck somebody, and then everyone's like, "Oh!"
Yeah,
And then
exactly.
he's gonna do a Conor McGregor act. I'm like, "Yeah, that just happened, baby. You just got the business." So yeah, there's going to be a lot of that going on today. So again, if it was chippy in the non-padded practice, you slap pads on naturally. It's hot as hell out there. Oh, it's gonna pick up. And I remember the 2 days. These NFL players don't be doing none of that anymore. But I'm an old man now. But that's neither here nor there. Benny, before we get you out of here, another thing that we're doing, and I'm reaching into my own pocket. Everyone's saying, "Hey, these Jets retro uniforms are cool," but for Pete's sake, they're like $130 plus the shipping and everything, or $170. I want to give one of those away. So here's what we do. There is a link down below, people. You can enter our Jets schedule prediction contest out of my own pocket. I am giving one lucky Jets fan a Jets jersey of their choice. Pick whatever the hell you want. Boom. We are purchasing that puppy. And all you have to do is tell me who you believe the Jets are going to beat this season, who they're going to lose to, and their final regular season record. All the details are in the link down below. Currently, we have 66 Jet fans in this contest, which is nice. Hey, it's a party, baby, but there should be more. There's more than 66 Jet fans on the planet. So I want to try to include everybody as possible. And Benny, I'll send this to you after so you can jump in too, because we got a bunch of content creators in. Why not get another jersey for the closet? Your significant other will thank me later. So with that being said, before we get out of here, Benny, what's your schedule prediction? What do you think the Jets are going to be this year? Just give me your record prediction for 2023 for the Jets.
How I see things right now, I think we're an 11-6 football team. 11-6 will be there fighting for the division towards the end. It's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be neck and neck. even between Buffalo and Miami, I think we're all going to be really good football teams. I think health is going to be the biggest determining factor. I know it's kind of cliche, but if we're being completely real, Tua needs to stay healthy. Josh Allen, they need to keep him upright. So I think it's going to be the big determining factor. But I say right now we're probably an 11-6 football team. Obviously, that gets us into the playoffs. And once you get into the playoffs, anything can genuinely happen. It's all about the right matchups. So I can't predict how far we're going to go into the playoffs, but I definitely think we're a playoff football team.
I love it. And again, I will take an 11-win season. I haven't seen one of those puppies since the 2010 regular season. So very nice. And I would love to see that. One last thing, everybody, make sure you vote in the poll today. The retro uniforms are out, and they're only going to be there for 2 games. Better than 0 that it was before. But do you want that as a permanent change? It's kind of a nice mix. You see that Jets helmet over my right shoulder. That's it, plus the glossy look of the modern helmet. So it's kind of a cool, interesting mash of old school and new school. Do you want that moving forward? Woody Johnson is tagged in the poll. We got like 500, 600 votes right now. Let's get even more, baby. Let us know. Should they change them permanently or not? You love the current ones. Let us know. Benny, an absolute pleasure. Thank you for joining the show, man. This is great. We'll have to do this again soon.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, man. You let me know. I'm on your time, and I definitely appreciate this. Let's have a great year, man.
And Benny, you may, I don't know what you're allowed to divulge. Again, your people, my people, maybe your people off camera about to hold you go, no comment on this. But I heard that you have a new show that is in the works, that, something bubbling. What details or sneak peek or little tidbit can you provide on that?
So for the people watching on Twitter, if you don't know, you probably do know Cali Jets. Me and Cali are partnering with U Stadium. Chances are we're going to be doing a podcast, YouTube shows, pregame, postgame, things of that nature. I'm going to be doing content live from the stadium, so definitely keep an eye out for that because I'm a season ticket holder. So I'm going to be at the game. I'm flying to Dallas for week 2. I'm absolutely.
I am too. I'm going to have to see you there, Benny. We'll have to see you there. Yeah,
without a doubt. So definitely keep an eye out for that. It's going to be a U Stadium podcast hosted by U Stadium, and it's going to be me and Cali Jets.
All right. Well, beautiful. I'm looking forward to it, Betty. Again, we'll have to do this again soon. Enjoy padded practice from the lovely confines of our home. My football playing days are well over, so I will watch other people smash into each other, and I will comment on it. That is what I do. Benny, thanks, brother.
Have a good one, man. Appreciate you.
There he is. Boy Green Daily. We'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early at 7:30. Everybody,